Hi guys, I thought we'd do a quick review over decimal operations today. We've done 4 basic operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. I've decided to pick 3 of those concepts in order to review with you. The first one we're going to do is subtraction because it's the same as addition. Step 1, you write your numbers down. 3 and 64 hundredths minus 2 and 709 thousandths, making sure that your decimals line up. We place any extra zeros that we need for placeholders, and then we just subtract like we would normally do. I look at 0 minus 9 at the end. I can't take 9 from 0, so I borrow 1 from my 4, making it a 3. That makes my 0 a 10. 10 minus 9 is 1. Now I look at my next digit over. 3 minus 0 is 3. I look at my tenths. 6 minus 7 I cannot do, so I'm going to have to borrow for my ones digit, so this is going to become a 2. That makes my 6 a 16. So now I do 16 minus 7, which is 9. I do 2 minus 2, which is 0. If I had more digits, I would continue on. And then once I have done that, I look at where my lovely decimals are, and I go back in and I place my decimals so that it lines up with the others. So my answer is 931 thousandths. Let's try another one. This time, the one that we are doing is multiplication. 4 and 37 hundredths times 2 and 5 tenths. We write our first number down just like before. 4 and 37 hundredths. Now when you multiply, you do not have to match up decimals. If you want to, you can, and fill in zeros. 2 and 5 tenths. I'm just setting it up just like we would do a normal multiplication problem, making sure that our last digit lines up. Now I'm going to multiply by my ones digit. 7 times 5 is 35, so I write a 5 and I carry a 3. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 3 is 18. Carry my 1. 4 times 5 is 20. Add 1 to it, I get 21. I don't worry about my 5's digit anymore, nor do I look at the 1 and the 3. I place a space or a space holder of a 0 in. And now I'm going to multiply everything by 2. 2 times 7 is 14, so I'm going to carry my 1. 2 times 3 is 6, add 1 is 7. 2 times 4 is 8. Now that I've added all, multiplied them all, I add them together. So I get 5. 12, so I carry my 1. 1 plus 7 is 9. 2 plus 8 is 10. I look at my math problem and I now see how many decimal places over. There's 2 there and there's 1 there, which means I need to move my decimal place 3 spaces from right to left. So 1, 2, 3. So my answer is 10 and 925 thousandths. Let's do one more as a review. The last one we're going to do is division. We put what we're dividing up inside the math problem. So 35 and 919 thousandths. On the outside is 1 and 3 tenths. And now what we're going to do is we're going to move our decimal place on the outside because we have to divide by a whole number. So if I move it once on the outside, I move it once on the inside of my divisor, and then I carry that decimal up. So So my decimal is going to go right there. Now I got to do some decimal division, or whole number division, excuse me. Okay, so I first asked myself, does 13 go into 3, which it doesn't, so I'm going to put a 0. Does 13 go into 35? It does, twice, so I put a 2. Now if you need some scratch paper, remember you have tons of scratch paper, you could do the calculation and figure out what the multiplication is. That is 26. I draw my line and I subtract. I have to borrow for my 3, so that becomes a 2. 15 minus 6 is 9. 2 minus 2 is 0. And I carry down my next digit, which is 9. And I repeat the process. Well, let's see. 13 times 6. 13 times 6, 18. Carry my 1. 6 times 1 is 6. Plus 1 is 7. I might be able to do better than that. Let's try 7 times. Just erase it all. 13 times 7, 1, carry my 2. 1 times 7 is 7, plus 2 is 9. That looks pretty darn good. 91. It's really close to 99. So I put a 7 up top. 7 times 13 is 91. I draw a line. I subtract. 9 minus 1 is 8. 9 minus 9 is 0. And I carry my next digit down, which is a 1. Now, I did 13 times 7, which was too big. So maybe I need to go back to 13 times 6. Can't remember what that is off the top of my head. Maybe you have it on your paper. 13 times 6, 8, carry my 1, 78. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to put a 6 up top, excuse me. 6 times 13 is 78. Draw my line. I subtract, which means I'm going to have to borrow. Carry my 1. I end up with 3. I carry down my next digit, which is 9, and I repeat the process again. How many times does 13 go into 39? Well, I know that is 3 times. 13 times 3 is 39. I draw my line. I subtract. I get a remainder of 0. So I know I'm done with this problem. If I'm not done, then I would go ahead and continue on adding zeros. The answer to this problem is right here, 27 and 63 hundredths. Hopefully this is helpful. Now it's your turn to do a little bit of review.